Hey, welcome to the first episode of Icons in the Making. My name is Fran.
I'm Romi, and we're Adora, your favorite music duo. In this space, we're going to be interviewing a range of creators who we think have the drive and the passion to become the next big thing. So you get to know them before everyone else does.
These are people that inspire us for so many reasons and who we think have a lot to say about their story, their life, and their vision. So, today's Icon in the Making is someone that has probably popped up on your For You page on TikTok quite a few times.
In our opinion, she's a total trailblazer who has made great use of what she had to create great opportunities for herself.
Her work has been described by British Vogue as footwear for the bold and fearless, and in just a couple years, she's created a name for herself.
She's an artist through and through who turned to what she calls wearable art during lockdown. Her escapism project has now turned into a full-fledged, one-of-a-kind business whereby she's been able to do things such as launching her own magazine, named after the brand, and even put on a runway show at London Fashion Week as a collaboration with Gent London.
You know that we love someone that tries to make a statement, especially in fashion. And so this next guest really embodies that energy to the T. Please welcome the next guest. This is Onnika Caldeira, the icon behind Girl Scout shoes.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We're really excited to speak to you, even though we've recently been speaking a lot, which is...
We've recently been working together a lot for something that's happening, something very exciting that's happening with your brand. I guess like since we know you, there's always something exciting happening with your brand.
Which is nice.
But yeah,
right?
I just wanted to ask, you started doing lockdown, right?
Yes. This business.
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask even before lockdown, like, you know, about your background and stuff and, you know, from when you started, you know, creating art till the moment in lockdown where you decided to paint shoes and, you know, all of that process in general, I guess.
Yeah. So I've always been, you know, multimedia queen. So when I was when I was younger, I've been a dancer all my life. So that was my first art that I was ever into.
What kind of dance?
All types of dance, except for tap. I never did tap.
I used to dance as well, yeah.
Oh, yeah? I think it's, like, kind of a common one for girls that are creative to kind of get their way into. But then in high school, I did, like, productions, and I directed a few plays, and I was in a few plays, musicals, things like that. And when I was director, I loved being the creator of the whole vision. I loved putting together each piece and managing, like, a whole... you know, like a 70 people cast. Like, it was really, I don't know, it was a fun time. And then when I decided to move to London, it was actually for love, which is cute. But I knew that I would have to study as well because
when did you move?
I moved 2019. So it's been like almost 4 years here.
Is that the person where you came over to London?
Boyfriend's here today.
Love that.
Yeah, so I moved here for him, which I don't tell people, but now I have, so that's out of the window. But yeah, so I applied for dance at Middlesex University, and I was going to attend, and then my loan got cut. So that was tragic. So I ended up just, you know, doing random jobs, trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do here. And then lockdown happened, and my mental health hit the ultimate low because I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I have no friends, no family. Like, this is the worst possible situation I could probably ever think of, except for I'm in a beautiful city, right? So that's when I started taking my canvas art. So I would just paint on canvas, you know, while he worked through the whole pandemic. He was crucial worker. What is that called? You know, he had to work the whole pandemic. Essential worker. Yeah,
essential worker.
So I was at home most times, and I would just paint and paint. And then I just took it to a pair of shoes. Like, I had leather paint, and I was just like, oh, I remember. It was Valentine's. And I was like, oh, I'm going to, you know, have a fun lockdown costume. And I had these, like, heart pasties that I put on top of my shirt, and they were glitter hearts. And I was like, how fun would it be if I took those white go-go boots and put red glitter hearts all over them? So I just literally painted that because I wanted, they weren't available, you know, I couldn't find them. I didn't want to pay crazy amounts. So I was like, I'll do it myself. Yeah. So I just painted those on and posted on social media, and like
it took
never stopped. Literally never stopped.
From the first one?
Yeah, from the first.
Wow.
You posted it on your own account, like your...
Yeah, I posted it on my private account, and then my friends were DMing me being like, you have to like do something with this. Like, this is so cool. And then I painted a few more, made a TikTok, and it blew up instantly. And I was like, Wow.
How much time did it go from the moment that
Like a week.
Like you created a business like in a week, literally.
And designed my whole website by myself, like off my laptop. Like, I was just like, what else am I gonna do? What else am I gonna do? Fuck it, who cares, right?
Go you. It makes me so happy to hear that, you know, you found yourself in such a low situation, especially lockdown as well was, you know, obviously very difficult for everyone. But you managed to, I don't know, come out like even stronger. That's just so inspiring to hear.
Yeah.
So cool, honestly.
It's good.
But yeah, so you moved from Canada, right?
Yeah.
How was growing up in Canada like? Do you ever miss it?
I love Canada, for sure. Yeah. It's a great country, and like, you know, the people are nice for the most part. It kind of depends where you live, I guess, and it's such a huge country, I don't want to speak for the whole thing. But where I'm from, specifically my hometown, I think I was just done with it. I think I reached my limit with my hometown.
Was it like a small place?
Oh, yeah. Like...
I mean, I feel like that happens to everyone that comes from a small place, especially now that you see so many things happen in big cities and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, it gets small.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't even realize how small it is. Like, it feels so small when I go back. And I didn't like the fact that no one could express themselves, even if that meant, like, something that's not even in my style. I can really appreciate personal style. And just because, like, I wouldn't wear something or do something, I will fall in love with someone's outfit because it works for them and they're so happy and confident. People in my hometown, it's like you walk out wearing something like we're wearing right now and everyone's staring at you. Yeah. And it's like, why are you staring? Like, go get a life. We
feel that, to be fair. Yeah. We've had that experience. I wanted to ask, actually, on that topic about, you know, dressing yourself and expressing your style. Are you one of those designers who... You know, do you paint your own shoes? Do you wear your own designs? Because I feel like it's a very, you know, like big yes, big no moment for a lot of designers.
Yeah, like a faux pas.
Yeah. What is that like for you?
When I first started, I wasn't. And I don't know why, but I think I was focused and grinding so hard on trying to get everybody else to wear my stuff and try to explain my vision and make people get on board.
Yeah.
But... now, like, I'll wear my shoes always. Like, if I'm going to a special event where I've been invited as Girl Scout shoes, like, I rock up wearing it because I know... And as soon as I do wear my pieces, that's the only thing people talk about. Like, as soon as they come see me, they're like, oh my god, I love your shoes. And I'm like, I'm a shoe designer. And then it's like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it'd be dumb not to wear them, but...
I think it's a great opportunity to wear them, and I applaud you for doing it. I think,
self-promo, like,
exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
I say you should be proud about your own designs. I don't get to understand the designers that don't wear their own stuff. I get it in some aspects because obviously you could make... It's the same as a musician. Sometimes you make stuff that you wouldn't necessarily listen to.
Yeah.
That's not our... we always make stuff that we want to... we would love to listen to, you know? But there's a lot of people that just have like in a style and it's not necessarily what they like, but it's what they feel or what they create.
But you know what I think as well is that, you know, the process of creating art, be it fashion or music or whatever it is, and, you know, the process of creating it and then like putting it out there, there's so much time that goes, you know, goes into it, and sometimes you just move on from that vision.
Yeah.
And you still may want to, you know, share it with the world because there's obviously going to be people that align with that, and, you know, you're still proud of what you've done, what you've accomplished, but you kind of alienate yourself from it when time goes by.
Definitely.
That's very prominent in music, and I think it's the same thing in fashion and anything creative.
I think it's kind of like the key to success in a way, to really stay with what you like. Like, you would want to make things that you like because then that's going to attract the audience that likes what you like. If you build a whole foundation off of something that doesn't really represent you, you're trying to almost make something to please other people or make things that you think they're gonna like. Like, I find I do that sometimes with social media or TikTok. I'm trying so hard to keep up with things that I end up releasing things, not the actual products, but the promotion of the products in a way that I'm not happy with, because I think that that's gonna somehow make the video go viral.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, because they want to see you. They followed you because they like you.
I mean, I feel like that happens with every creative that is on TikTok at the moment. It's just like a grind, and then you try to please, kind of like you try to get that viral factor, and that sometimes compromises a bit of your creative vision.
It compromises your motivation, I feel like, as well. And I actually wanted to ask, how do you deal with that? Because we know from experience that content creation has become very important in this day and age, especially for people who have their own businesses of any kind. And yet we find that sometimes it can become quite draining and uninspiring. Totally. But, there's that like spark that you can tap into, but sometimes it's just like a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
How do you, keep yourself inspired and just consistent with it? Because consistency is the word.
Yeah.
We all hate to hear, but it's the word, So how do you manage that?
That's a good question. I don't know if I manage it. I don't know, because if I'm not feeling it, I just don't run with it.
Yeah.
As soon as I feel something, I'll work on it and just get it out there. But I don't know. Obviously you lose followers, right, when you stop posting, and that sucks. But also, what am I going to do? I'm going to work myself to the bone every single day when I wake up. I'll have no time. Like, social media is its own job in itself.
Literally.
And when you're trying to be your own social media manager, your own customer service person, like, I have 80 different hats that I have to wear every single day I wake up. And it's like, if I don't want to do TikTok one day, sorry, y'all. Like, deal with it. At least you'll get a shoe drop next week. Like, I can't do everything at once. Maybe one day when I have a big team, like, that'll become easier. But maybe the answer is just taking the pressure off and realizing, like, your talent isn't going to leave. So don't be stressed if one day you can't get out of bed, or one day you can't think of something that'll go viral. Like, it's too much stress.
That's
I don't know.
honestly something we need to hear sometimes.
Yeah.
We relate. Yeah, of course. And actually what you said, you have to put on multiple hats every day. Much like anyone who is running their own business, a lot of creatives are in that position of, you have to do accounting and finances and social media, and then you have to still have energy to be creative and
produce your shoots.
And
the shoots.
hone in your craft. And,
and keep designing because we always forget, as musicians, that we are musicians.
Right.
You start doing so much stuff
like,
related to your
music.
craft, but then we're like, fuck, we haven't written a song in like
too long,
a couple of weeks or something like that, and it's like
sucks.
Yeah.
And it takes time as well to get into, at least for us, to get into that creative flow again, to start making your art as well. Because sometimes we get into the TikTok grind, social media grind, or we organize shoots, video shoots, all that kind of stuff.
It lasts for a bit, and then
you get so focused on that, and then you suddenly, I don't even know how to write a song anymore.
Right.
Which obviously you do, is what you're saying. Like, your creativity doesn't just go away, but you have to like get yourself in that mindset. So how do you prioritize tasks? Because it's very difficult sometimes when you have so many things to do to know, okay, what's most important right now,
right,
and why.
I mean, at the end of the day, the design work for me is always going to be priority, right? So if I feel my battery is hitting a low, then, I like to go to a museum. I like to get on a bus and just listen to my music and just go around for a bit. Like, you just have to find the joy again somehow. Yeah. And this city, like, you guys can probably relate, like, we're immigrants here, you know what I mean? So being in this city is almost enough for me sometimes. Like, sometimes I wake up and I'm like I could be back home having the exact same struggle right now, but at least I'm here.
You have to remember that, though, because sometimes you get caught up and you forget.
I know. And you, like, not take advantage, but, what's that? Like, you let the opportunity of this life pass you by because you're inside your own head, But people would die to be in this position, so.
No, that's really, and you forget you're here. Sometimes
you forget you made it.
Yeah, you forget you're all fucking successful.
When we were younger, that was like making
and
it.
I feel like for us, for everyone that's here, that's not from the UK especially, it's like a journey getting to here. Like, and staying here especially, because most people come and go.
Yeah.
Like, we've had so many friends since we came to, especially Spanish friends, that I don't blame them, because in Spain, the quality of life is just
I get it.
really
I
good.
get it.
But people come and go, they and they just, it takes a lot to actually get your food in this city, meet the people, hang out with the people you like, find the places you want to go to. It's very there's so much stuff, so much offers that you get like very saturated.
Yeah, totally.
So I think we need to remember that ourselves, especially more often as well, that there's been a journey to actually come here.
And I remember, when I was younger, my my dream was just to get out and experience something else, because I knew that I needed that to be able to eventually do what I wanted for the rest of my life.
Right.
I needed that, as you say, like just being in London is inspiring enough.
Totally.
You know, so I knew that I needed that as well. And sometimes you get so caught up and you also start to compare yourself with other people who are maybe from here, or maybe they're not, but they've been here for longer, or maybe they've not been here for longer, but everyone's on a different path.
That's another one. I feel like that happens a lot with immigrants, that they compare themselves to people from here.
Yeah. And it's unfair.
And that happened to us a lot as well. I don't know if that happened to you.
Have. Oh, totally. Like, people that, like, and I'm sure every city has these people, but people that are from London have this energy about them that they have this like natural confidence, even if they don't think it's there. It's being in your home, you naturally are more comfortable, and that kind of can come off as confidence sometimes. And like, that is a privilege to like walk out into a big city and have confidence to take on things, not be scared. Like, I was pissing myself for my interview, like for a bar job, like because I was just scared of everything that my head was, you know. Yeah, exactly.
I had that in my first year of uni.
Right.
Yeah, I tried to get into modeling, because that's a story for a different day. But I tried to get into modeling when I moved, and I did all my research for all the agencies I wanted to visit, and then on the day I was meant to go, I chickened out and I could not do it.
Yeah.
Eventually I got signed and it's worked out, but like,
yeah, the anxiety.
I remember I was so scared to actually go and get an oyster card at the tube, and it sounds so ridiculous, but I was so anxious to actually go, because we're from the Canary Islands, like there's obviously there's no even trains, like you know,
we don't have subway either, so I had a full mental breakdown and cried and screamed at Adam on the phone because I didn't know my way around the train station. I was like, no one's helping me and I don't know where to go, and like, and also the fact that everyone here is so like stoic and like, so no one is approachable either, or like, you know, you're crying in a train station, you need help for directions, people are just passing you, like could not give. Like in Canada you stop, like someone would stop in a heartbeat and be like, is everything okay, like what's going on, you know? Sometimes
I like that though. I like the fact that you can, you know,
you're invisible.
Yeah, you're like, you can be invisible and you can just, you know, do your own thing. Like, because I'm a big crier, I will say. I love feeling my emotions, and like I will go on a walk and just let it all out sometimes. And if someone comes up to me, it's just like, are you fine? Are you fine? Are you fine? I'm just like, I'm fine. I just want to cry now.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
It's true that feeling invisible gave me the confidence in this city to start.
I love that.
Wearing the stuff I wanted, because
no one gives a fuck. No one's looking at you.
Exactly. Yeah. But the thing I hate is that, for example, in this building, the neighbors don't even say hello to me. And I'm like, that in Spain,
that's so weird.
In Spain, that like you say hello to everyone you cross paths with, like,
smiling people in your building.
It's like you say just.
Okay, I like the neighbors thing. I've never been a neighbors girl. Like even growing up, I'm like, do you know what I mean? I don't know. Just because when I'm coming and going from my house, like if I'm taking the garbage out, it's very like intimate setting for me. Kind of leaving my house, like especially if it's just for something small and I'm in like the worst outfit, looking like I don't really want to talk to people. But on the street, it would be nice if someone smiled back at me or like smiled or something. Yeah. They don't really do that.
Actually, I kind of agree with what you say about, you know, it's like an intimate setting when you're like around your neighborhood and just, you know, going to the shop to grab something quickly or whatever.
Right.
Like if you know us, you know that we like to dress up and we are always dressed wherever we're going. The one place where, I mean, we still get dressed at home because we work at home a lot, but some days obviously you're in just like, you know.
Yeah.
I think the man at the off license in that corner is the man that has seen us like in all stages.
The stories he has.
He's seen everything, that man. But like, it is, I like living in the area that we live in because I don't bump into people I know, and I need that separation kind of thing, because it is like a more intimate, private part of my life, I guess. You know, I don't know.
So I don't mind the neighbors. I don't mind that they don't talk to. Actually, our neighbors love us, don't they? Sorry, I'm like bringing them into the interview.
Have you ever gifted them like some shoes?
Oh, we tried.
Yeah,
we shoes, but I tried to give gifts, but I think there's something wrong because they just got mad. It's a long story, but it wasn't a good experience. So I like to literally just try not to talk and just like
just do your thing. Just do your thing. Yeah, that sucks though.
But I tried.
Yeah.
So that was,
Oh God.
yeah.
Oh God.
But yeah, going back to the, obviously we've got off topic, but going back to the designs and stuff, I wanted to ask, you obviously, do you have collections, or because you obviously do like a lot of one-off pieces and one-off designs, obviously, but do you release collections with one whole idea, and do you design around that idea, or do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you come up with your ideas in general? Like.
Okay, so the way I do my drops is kind of inspired by this pottery designer. I don't know what you call her. Ceramicist? Is that a word?
Yeah.
No, we just made it. Her name is Big Jugs, like Abby Big Jugs or something, which is like a joke on jugs, I think. But she made a post once, and she was like, don't expect consistencies or a schedule with my drops. Like, they happen when I want, like, whenever I want. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, why am I trying to do things every Friday or once a month or whatever? So I literally get inspired by something, make it, and then if I'm doing a shoot, I'll organize a shoot, and then I just drop it. Like, no time consistency, no date consistency.
Yeah, so you don't have like a specific date, or you have like...
No, because that rushes all my processes, or like pressures me.
We've talked with a few designers as well. Last week we were talking with Christiana as well, and she felt the same way. It's just like, she had the idea of like making one collection a year. That's like the minimum thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that if you put like yourself... Some people like to work under pressure, obviously.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Sometimes it doesn't work. It doesn't really work with everyone, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, how many collections do you release, or do you try to release like a year?
Yeah, do you have a minimum or anything like that?
Well, I started off by doing like a summer collection and then a New Year's drop. And I wanted to kind of keep consistent with that, like for my big collections, because my big collections are probably like 10 pairs of shoes in one go.
Okay.
And then, you know, out of those 10, maybe 4 will be one-of-a-kind pieces, and then 6 will be available to order in your size. So yeah, but honestly, like whenever I'm feeling it, like a Charm in a Leg collection that we like shot with you guys, I just got that idea and I was like, I want to make it now before I go, and hopefully like that'll be a good seller before I leave, and then you know, if it sells well, I'll do it again. Same with the whipped cream. Like I did a whipped cream.
I love that one.
Yeah,
I was talking about that one.
Yeah, I did that for London Fashion Week. I was experimenting on the black Mary Janes, and then I knew it was going to be like a birthday look, so I took it to a platform pink pair. And then the hype over those, like, that went insane. Like, that video went insane on Instagram. So the demand, like, my DMs, you know, the emails, people wanted that. So I put out a mini drop, one-of-a-kind pieces of the whipped cream. Those sold out. Put up another one, sold out. So I was just like, I kind of run with what people want, you know? Like, things that go viral, I'll play into a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe consistency would help more with my sales and my social media. Like, I don't know. It's working right now, so I'm just gonna...
Honestly,
I mean, if it's working for you right now...
Right?
Just,
And I'm comfy, so why not?
Exactly. Don't worry about that,
because then you need to sacrifice all the aspects of yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And that might end up in a... not as... like, the result not being as good.
Yeah.
Because we always have this debate of, you know, whether we should just stick to a schedule and be super consistent, or just kind of, you know, go with what we're feeling. And it's very difficult sometimes, because sometimes one thing works, sometimes the opposite does, sometimes none of them work, and you're like, what the fuck am I meant to do now? I don't know.
And you're your own boss. Like, no one's coming to help, no one's here. Like, it's you guys.
Coming to offer like advice, necessarily, you know. So yeah, it's difficult, but I think you do a great job of, you know, reading the room, as I say, and just kind of feeding off the energy that people give you in that way. And that's I think that works really well for you, clearly. So
yeah, I'm happy. Like, I feel like what I'm doing is resonating. So until it's not resonating, like, well, for example, like the bags that I did, the luxury handbags with Jet London, like those. Okay, well, we don't really know if they didn't necessarily resonate, and I got a lot of positive feedback on it. But for example, none of that collection is sold yet. Okay. And it could be because the price point is way higher than anything I've ever done before, because they're designer pieces and they're one-of-a-kind rare designer pieces as well. So, like, everything kind of jumps up. And I also felt like the past year I was compromising a little bit on my price ranges because I want to make it accessible and I want a lot of people to be wearing my work. So with the bag collection, I was really like, you know what? I'm going to put them where I think they should be, period. Like, I'm not going to think about affordability or anything like that.
Yeah. If people want them, the day, so.
And if people want them, they want one. But yeah, so that didn't take off or anything. They didn't sell out. But I kept painting bags for influencers and trying to get like some social proof of people wearing them and styling them. And, you know, hopefully one day that one of those bags will sell. But would I do another luxury bag collection right this second? Probably not, because that's not really what the room is saying right now.
Yeah. Makes sense.
What about, you also do jewelry as well, right?
Yeah. So my assistant actually designs all of that. I helped her source the beads, and so it's all glass beads and freshwater pearls, which are really pretty because I love like the different shapes. Like real pearls look so stunning, you know? Cheap pearls, you can tell a mile off. But yeah, so I just helped her pick out all the beads to make sure that they were like within the brand DNA and energy. And then I kind of just like let her run with it. She also does crochet bikini tops with like little heart. So yeah, I love inviting people into my space and like letting projects take off. Like even the magazine that actually wasn't my like idea. My set designer Maya came to me one day and she was really passionate about the idea. She also, I don't want to say runs it because I don't know her actual position, giving away all the credit to her, but I think she runs another magazine called Pilot, which is like a really cool magazine. So yeah, she just came to me with the idea, and I'm always so excited to have people get a slice of the cake. Like whatever is making the empire bigger, you know, I'm down to do it. And so, so my assistant does the jewelry. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's really good. How big is your team? How many people are you working with right now?
Right now, it's literally just me. Like, Minnie, my assistant, she's working on more stuff right now. We won't say that just because it's very in the works, so I don't really, in case it changes and things like that. But she's working on another project for Girl Scout that I'm really excited for. So yeah, it's basically just me and her right now, but it used to be me, her, 2 interns, and a set designer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was stuffed. It was a lot going on, a lot of cooks in the kitchen. Yeah. And I work better with one cook, so.
Yeah.
About...
It's a difficult one to navigate.
Yeah. What about now in the future, like next year, 2023, you're going away, right? Mm-hmm. Why are you going away? Yeah. And how are you gonna keep the brand alive in London?
It's crazy. So I've kind of started looking at it as a little bit of like a split of time, because I'm working with a client right now, as you guys know, that I think is going to be bringing me back to the city throughout the year. So even though I'm going to be like my apartment is going to be in my hometown, I'll still be in London throughout the year. So I'm hoping that doesn't it'll be enough where I can come visit, I can get enriched with the culture a little bit, and then kind of go home and focus again. But yeah, so I'm going home for maybe a year or 2, just because I don't want to rush my process. I got invited to do a private show at Paris Fashion Week, which is very exciting.
That is very exciting, yeah. Congrats.
Thank you. But I don't want to rush the timeline. Like, if the pieces aren't coming together and I'm not proud of it, I want to execute it to, like, my full dream, because it's going to be a private show. This is my first time finally doing something completely me. So it needs to be perfect, basically. So if it takes me 2 years to do it properly, I'll take the 2 years. I know a lot of people rush into things because they either think things are going to disappear, or they're not going to be as good, or people are going to...
The opportunity maybe it's not going to be there anymore.
Yeah, or lose relevance. Like, some people are so terrified of actually working on their shit because if they don't have a social media presence, like, they think that's, like, it. But I'm actually fortunate enough that my friends back home, like, one guy that I'm really close with works in fashion PR, and... I think going home is literally going to be the best experience ever, which I would never say. Like, if we did this podcast 2 years ago, never. But the team that I have waiting for me back home, I think is going to elevate the brand so much that I'm like buzzing to go.
Nice.
This is so weird. It's like I'm obsessed with London.
It feels weird to say. I know what you mean.
We have experienced something very similar recently because we did a trip to Madrid and we saw the potential of like our music and then in Spain. And we also had like that love-hate relationship when we came here.
Yeah.
And now we started to see the potential and trying to build a team there, trying to go there more often, to work there.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I actually like it.
Yeah, you're like,
I still want to live in London because
Right.
London's, you know, exciting and pushes us out of our comfort zone all the time. And I want to keep that. That makes us work really hard. But there's a lot of great stuff in other places as well.
Yeah.
Including where we're from. So,
Yeah. And I think I'm going to enjoy not having the constant comparison around me. Like, I've never really been one to compare myself because I do think everybody is so different. And there's literally no point comparing because you're on a different track and everyone's going to get to where they want to go if they don't stop. So I try not to, but it's fucking hard when I'm like on the bus and everyone looks cool. I'm just like, do I look cool enough to be on this bus?
Especially with social media now, I feel like it's something that we might have been struggling now ourselves more than before, and I don't know why because I've never struggled with that before.
Me either. I've never been one to compare myself, to be honest.
And I've been really actively thinking about it. You know,
Me too.
I think we were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah, and even. What we were saying, like even going to Spain did help with that because, you know, it takes you out of the bubble of comparison and just like, you know,
and don't you
that
feel
pressure.
like good when you go back home a bit?
Yeah.
Like you're like, I'm top dog here. Yeah.
London
It's taking me a long time to like actually feel it and actually, you know, verbalize it, but it feels really nice.
Yeah.
It feels necessary to take a break from a place that's so great and so inspiring, but also so hectic and just everything is just like happening all the time. Like there's no breaks.
There's no stop. There's no
breaks
breathing.
because you're always, if you take a break, you're always gonna miss out on opportunities, and that's just like so harrowing sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very necessary for me at this stage in my life, at least, to go away, go back home. I have that luxury.
Yeah.
that I can go back home.
Yeah.
and you know, experience a different world.
Yeah. I always go back with like a little bit more confidence, and I actually wear like the weirdest shit when I'm back home because I'm almost like I want you guys to know that I live an amazing life in London. Yeah, like I want you to ask me where I got my whole outfit because it's gonna be thrifted in London and you can't get it, you know.
No, but it's true, that happens to me sometimes as well. I go with a bit more confidence and I go excited to talk about what I've done on my project. I always, every time I go, I have like something new that has happened in my life. So it's like exciting to tell my family and tell friends and stuff. Even though my friends, like, they don't fucking care.
They don't care.
But like,
live different lives. You know?
Right.
It's not like they don't care, but it's not like your family's just more like,
oh my god,
they love you. They're excited. They're hyped.
And your friends as well. Like, you know, they do live very different lives and they don't necessarily maybe like understand the significance of something you've achieved in London because you kind of have to be here or kind of see it happening from a distance to understand.
And how hard it is to get there too. Like they don't understand all the nuance and how difficult it was.
Which is kind of great because if you're only speaking to people who understand it, then you can kind of spiral into thinking that you're like the shit, you know, and you're like so
like the ego.
Yeah, like it. You know, it kind of brings your like ego down a notch when you are around people that don't have that experience and don't care about.
Don't even care. Literally don't care. You're like, so then maybe they're winning. Yeah.
So then you're just same person you've always been.
Right.
So
I absolutely love right now going back home and having a beer with my friends just because it just pops the bubble instantly.
It's humbling.
And it is. I always tell you now, it's so refreshing. Like it refreshes my batteries. Like because like you get to talk about stuff that I wouldn't talk with anyone here because it's just like, I don't know, stuff that you would talk just with them and there. But it's literally my favorite conversation in the world is when I talk to them. And it just refreshes my social battery a lot. Yeah. Because in London you get, especially in the creative scene and stuff, you get in a bubble, and we think we are outside the bubble because we are different and we are creators. But you get into another bubble.
No, we're in a creative bubble. Yeah. Like we must all admit that there is a bubble and we're very much in it.
Yeah.
And some people try hard to pop the bubble sometimes, some people don't bother.
I feel
That's just how it is.
happens a lot in the queer community as well. You feel like you've gone out of a bubble to go into another one, but then you get into another bubble. You know? So you need to be checking yourself and meeting people with different mindsets and different paths of.
I think just listening to different points of view, even if you don't agree with them, it's just informative.
Yeah.
It's just informative, and it will at least make you think, about the bubble that you're in and whether you still agree with that, or maybe there's some things that you agree on and some other things that maybe you disagree on. And it's a good thinking exercise, I think. And I don't know, I think it creates a more balanced point of view on certain topics that, are very important socially and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we always try to keep that in mind and just not get too stuck in one idea or one space or, one environment or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I struggle with that. Like, I get hyper fixated and then I can't get out.
Yeah.
And then everything that isn't in there makes me angry and it makes me like go more in it, because it's almost like the people outside the bubble don't understand and they're not even trying to. So it almost isolates you more because
it frustrates you sometimes.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like, okay, I'm not making my art for you, so why am I gonna sit here and waste my breath explaining what I do and why it's important for me?
Because
it's gonna go like in one ear out the other for you. Yeah. Whereas I'd much rather sit down with people who are super interested, have something to add to the convo,
But I do think there's a problem right now of people, they just want to hang out with people like-minded, literally.
Because it's comfortable.
But I do feel like there's people with curiosity that no matter what your belief is, like your political view or your sexual orientation or your whatever, if you have curiosity, if you go to someone with curiosity and explain your project, they're just gonna be amazed,
Yeah.
Because it happens to me when I have a lot of curiosity, and when I have a friend telling me about, I don't know, when our old flatmate Javi was telling us about his kind of like adventures with kind of like investing money in banks and all that kind of stuff, and he was really into it. It was so fascinating to see him talk about that, because you see someone's passion,
True.
Yeah.
There's passion, big difference.
Yes.
If someone's critiquing me, I'm not there. But if someone is passionate about something completely random, I'm so there. Yeah. Definitely.
Yesterday, I was hanging out with two friends I went to school with that I hadn't seen in such a long time, and one of them is studying medicine, which is obviously completely different to what we do. But yeah, she is someone who has always wanted to study medicine. She's so passionate about it. And she was telling me how she wakes up in the morning, she sees her gown that she has to wear to the hospital, and she just wants to cry of excitement. And that made me so happy.
Yeah.
That made me so happy because I want a doctor that's that passionate.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I don't want a doctor who's miserable.
Hates their job. Yeah.
Because then the experience is going to be not very nice for me.
Right.
I want a doctor who's that passionate, and I don't care what you're passionate about. But if you are passionate and you're, trying to do it because you like it and because it's for yourself,
right?
I applaud that, honestly.
Yeah.
It happened with my cousin as well. When we went back home, we were having a conversation with my cousin that he's been for a lot of years trying to get into the military in Spain, and you can see since he's a child, I've grown up with him, and I've always known he was going to go into the military because he had a lot of passion for that. I've never met anyone like that, but he was telling us about he got accepted, and now he's doing the training and stuff.
Military training.
But he's kind of like he really, really, really wanted to be there and see himself with the uniform.
Yeah.
In the mirror, that was his absolute dream, to see himself wearing the uniform, and kind of like, even though the training sounds like shit to me because it was like horrible, he was so pumped about it. He was just like, and you could see the passion in his eyes and the way he talked about it, and it's so, I love that.
And listen, I wish no one had to fight physically about anything, but if it's gonna be military service, I'd rather it be people that are passionate about it and are gonna do it, to the best of their ability, and just, I don't know, go into it for the right reasons kind of thing. Because he was also saying that, he didn't want to, he wasn't like excited about, getting like arms and just like shooting stuff. And no, he wanted like, the actual like brotherhood, discipline element. Like he wanted to see how that was going to impact his life, those kinds of values and stuff. And I was like, wow, that's something I've never heard before.
Right.
Actually made me think a lot.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
I think it's so valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love, like, speaking to anybody when they're interested in something is, you know, super attractive. I enjoy listening to that. It's more like, you know, the cynical people that try to, like, dissect what you're saying. Or they're trying to, like, understand you. But, pick it apart. Like, you're picking at me. It's not like you're asking me questions because you're interested in what I'm talking about.
It's different.
Yeah. And I feel like
you.
that's kind of, like, pessimism is kind of embedded in the English culture a little bit. Like, I think it's the weather here. Like, I don't want to get hippie on us, but the vitamin D levels are making people sad in this country.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Like,
it does.
The weather and the food. I'm sorry. Food, you are what you eat. And
It's true. The food here is...
the food doesn't make me that happy here compared to... Obviously, I'm from Spain, so food in Spain, we all know it is fucking great. It doesn't make me as happy here, and I can feel the difference.
Right.
And I think I'm not alone, but...
But imagine you were born here. And, like, literally your whole life was in gloom.
No.
Like, I would be sad, too, and I would rip apart everything, because, like...
No, but we've noticed that the level of... the quality of life that you expect in Spain is much higher than the one
inaccessible.
Inaccessible, obviously, that the quality of life you expect in here. And we've noticed that with especially friends that are British, that were born here and stuff, from stuff like, I don't know, breakfast and from food.
Yeah, your like daily routine and
everything. I don't know. It's really interesting when I go back and I see my friends and they had like great lives compared to the people here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
when it comes to quality of life,
yeah.
I used to take it for granted so much because all I was focused on was the opportunities and my ambition. And I now realize that, you know, both serve the purpose.
Yeah.
Like, both are important.
Thing I love is that when summer comes around, everyone's happy here.
I know.
Yeah.
Spring
the sun.
and summer.
Yeah.
And you see the building like with a different kind of light as well, because you see like, look out the window, like it looks all gloomy and grey and stuff.
Yeah.
But when it's like, when it comes summer,
people do appreciate the sunlight
a lot more,
and they go to the park and have picnics, and I do love that.
Have a couple of beers. I love that. Like, drinking in public is fun here.
Yeah,
we don't do that back. Sorry, it's like illegal in Canada.
No,
like, we don't really do that.
same.
Yeah.
Okay,
but people in Spain, in the Canary Islands, they don't go to parks.
No,
because it's
what do you
sunny
do?
every day.
Yeah.
Like you go to the beach. For example, my sister goes to the beach quite often.
Which, I mean,
and she lives there.
It's just like great, but
yeah, you don't appreciate the sun because it's always there.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I never thought about that. That's funny.
I know, right? But it's just those things that you
just in my tooth. Sorry, go ahead.
It's like it's just those things that you realize when you move abroad, and at least for me, it took me a couple of years of being here to actually understand all of the differences, for good and for bad.
There's a lot. Culture shock.
Because first year, I was so excited to move to the UK. All I wanted was to, you know, work on my creative stuff. I just wanted to get to know myself, that kind of thing. And I was just excited. Mm-hmm. So everything was so positive to me. Like, even the food, I was like, oh my God, I'm excited to eat different things.
Same. Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish I could have the food from back home.
Yeah.
Just here, and then everything I have here, because I love my life here.
Yeah.
But you can have, you know, everything. So.
Yeah. And one thing I want to say about the British people, because I don't want them to think I hate them, because it's not true.
No.
The pessimism,
no.
I actually do enjoy that sometimes, because I think the one thing that Canada is missing, although it's like so nice, everybody's so polite, like, again, for the majority, I don't want to speak, there's assholes in every country, but the one thing about pessimism here, and we were talking about this the other day, is it makes you self-aware. Like, my cringy
so true
got exuded from my body the minute I stepped off the plane, and, like, people humble you quickly. So, yeah, you might, like, lose confidence in areas, but it might be for the best. Like, the arrogance and the loud, like, embarrassing stuff, like, kind of good that people shame us out of making those mistakes, because if something gets filmed, like, that's online forever.
Twice,
it makes me, like, it made me just mature really quickly, because I don't want to say certain things. I don't want to act, like, childish, you know?
Yeah.
So the
I hadn't thought about that, but I do agree that since I've moved to the UK, I'm definitely more self-aware in every aspect of my life. Obviously, I've grown. I'm not old, 22. But yeah, you grow, and obviously you become more self-aware and stuff. But the experience of, moving to a country where things work in such a different way, socially especially, it does impact. I hadn't thought about that, but I totally get where you're coming from.
To be honest, when I go back to Spain, I stand by British people a lot, because when I go back to Spain, everyone's like, oh my god, it must be so boring. British people look so serious and so boring.
Everyone says they're such hypocrites. That's like the stereotype of British people abroad, like in Spain.
In the Canary Islands, at least, I don't know why, but it's like...
Because they've said in the media... always like
the way
British
it's portrayed.
People are hypocrites.
I feel like Spanish people.
I still don't get that.
Spanish people here are portrayed as kind of lazy, and they're always partying and kind of
loud. But
and
people love Spain here, I find, because they go for holidays.
Yeah,
so obviously you're gonna like where you go on holiday.
Always, every time I go back, I'm always trying to explain, especially someone older. It's not that friends, like people our age,
it's usually
say
older
that.
people,
Usually older people. I need to explain to people that actually have British friends, and they're actually cool, and they're normal people that have fun, and that they smile.
They're humans. Yeah, definitely.
And they're actually great.
And they had great banter. And
I love the comedy here. I've always loved the comedy.
Yeah,
the
comedy
dryness
is so good.
Yeah, it's good.
I like Spanish comedy too much.
Spanish comedy is very good as well, but
it's very my style of comedy is very random. So like it's just like, if for example you right now, like I don't know, like a zebra comes into the room, and then there's like, I don't know, random stuff, I love that.
It's like unexpected random stuff. Especially there's one show in particular that we love to watch called La Resistencia.
I like random stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very random and very funny, but it's also dark in a way sometimes. Like they will make jokes about dark stuff, kind of like, how they do them here.
Right.
In a way. And I do agree. It is quite ingenious and like quite funny. I don't know.
I think you need a healthy balance of positive and negative. Yeah. I think sometimes British people, I hate to generalize, oh my god, but you know what I mean? The culture here, sometimes the negativity can be a fault. Like sometimes people do not believe in themselves a lot here. And also, again, with the parks, like creative things are kind of like that here, because it's like London, Milan, Paris. It's one of those cities where all the opportunities are happening, so you almost let them like slip away, or you think you're not good enough somehow because you're so close to it. Whereas when we come, that too, and when we come from small towns, it's like we just see the inspiration and the potential and everything, so we put blinders on and we're like, we're just gonna work as hard and do what we need to do. But they're like more scared or less confident about,
We came here on a mission at the end of the day, so you just have that go-getter attitude. I feel like
just born here.
Immigrants, that have moved to any country for any reason, have that kind of attitude to them.
Hardworking.
You just inevitably have an objective of sorts when you move abroad.
But even British people,
when you change your life so drastically,
when they're not from London, for British people that are not from London, sometimes it feels like a whole different country. So you get the same. And even people that are from London, you get the same drive as well, because they've grown up seeing the competition and the oversaturation of everything. I feel like it depends on the individual at the end of the day.
No, it's so true. Very
I wanted to ask one question that we always wanted to ask in Icons in the Making, because we actually love making dinner parties, having people over, is if you could have a dinner party with 3 guests, let's say 3 or 4 guests.
Let's say you have up to 3 guests of your choice, dead or alive.
Yeah, dead or alive. Who would you have over to your home? And you cooking as well.
Yeah, and why?
They might be bringing dessert, but yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, should have been thinking about it.
It's difficult.
Okay, I feel like this is a throwaway answer and everybody says it, but Louis Theroux would be a really good one to have.
Yeah.
Because you could ask him everything about everything, and like I feel like he would dish it out in a private dinner setting, right?
He'd be entertaining.
He would.
He's so awkward, but at the same time so cute and so interesting,
Louis, I feel like if you're listening to this, please, we love you.
Please. So that's a really good one.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to say Miley Cyrus, because she's probably my number one icon of life.
I love Miley Cyrus will be on my table, definitely.
I don't know if I could sit across from her though. I don't know if I could cook for her. Like I'd be crying, freaking out. I'd be like, did it rise on time? Like I'd be freaking out.
I would not be able to concentrate. She's too attractive.
Oh, that too. Yeah, I'd just be like
I just could not.
But yeah, probably her. I'm thinking someone that's passed. That's a good one.
But yeah,
those are really good ones.
I'd love to have Miley. And also,
I admire her work so much as well, and I mean, obviously we are the generation that grew up with Hannah Montana and stuff. So she's just always been like a figure, in our life, and I love her.
I mean, you have two, Luther and Miley.
That'd be a weird ass table. That'd be good.
You both there, like,
do
you want a bit of lasagna?
Okay, we have another question that we like to ask. It's kind of like a spotlight moment, because this podcast is called Icons in the Making, and it's all about, people who we think can become tomorrow's icons. We wanted to ask if you have anyone that you'd like to spotlight that you think we should check out because they're really making waves in, whatever they're doing.
Can I give a really niche one that isn't like popping, but I think is going to be someone really cool one day?
Yeah.
Okay. A friend from back home.
Yeah.
I used to dance with him. His name's Xander Sen. He's writing a short film right now, and it's really good. I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I'm like halfway through the script, and I think his motivation and his drive and his unique vision on things, he could really, like, if he keeps working and keeps posting and putting himself out there, he's just so unique and different. And he also has a really cool, like, aesthetic for a white boy. Like, I feel like that's very hard to do nowadays because the it thing is, like, unique. The more unique you look, kind of even the more weird you look,
it's weird girl.
Yeah, it's weird girl season. Absolutely, and I love that for the whole world.
I feel the balance is turning to the other way. I feel like
Thank God.
Even musicians now, when you see all white male musicians right now, bands that are composed by that kind of arrangement, they have. From now on, I feel like they're having a harder time. Same as what it used to happen with women a couple of years ago, but now
it's kind of like
women are kind of like. Yeah, they're kind of like the cool thing, kind of like a girl band. Even though we were talking about this, for a girl band, especially in music, to
reach the same level of success.
To reach, like,
that's interesting.
Like,
a male band can be shit and still kind of
like don't have an aesthetic or like
not shit, but like they could be like normal, they could be like
not shit, like they can just be average,
but
not have anything like too fresh or interesting about themselves.
But for someone that's not male, you cannot be average. You need to be above that, and I feel that's actually being really represented right now in London. That there's a lot of fucking good female bands,
or not just female. I mean, but just non-male.
But there's some amazing bands right now that I'm like, not just because who they are, but just because of the quality. So you can tell that they've worked their ass off because they are not allowed to be normal.
Yeah, they got to work harder.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We see that with just all the pop girlies. It's always been like that. Taylor Swift, Dua Lipa, We Love Nati Peluso is a great example of that as well. Like, they have to work so much harder. I mean, Madonna as well, she's talked about it plenty. They have to work so much harder to reach the levels of success that they have. And another thing that they always talk about is the fact that, they constantly have to reinvent themselves. There's, if you look back on Madonna and her, like, discography and her career, you'll see there's always, like, different eras and different aesthetics and constant reinvention, because if not, you kind of get forgotten. And I feel like it's never been the same for, the male identifying counterparts in the industry.
Or it's like Elton John, like, he did the same gig the whole time, which I love. Like, we love Elton John, but I'm just saying the comparison. He, just wore crazy outfits every time, and that was fine. The whole career, whereas she was reinventing herself over and over.
It's even worse with what we're saying, like, bands who, or acts or musicians or whatever, who, the music is just,
average.
Nothing. Yeah, it's average because there's plenty like it, and they don't have anything too exciting or fresh about them. So it's just kind of frustrating sometimes to see, why is this still in when there's so many other cool, new, fresh things to
I have a little theory
into.
about this, actually.
Yeah?
That I've been keeping, like, I've never shared it because it just never come up, but I think I could share, like, it's relevant,
Yeah, it's just a thought, so
Yeah,
feel free.
It's my own little mental conspiracy theory. But no, I was just thinking that, I mean, this plays into anything. The more attractive something is, the easier something will sell, like, period, right? And I just feel like the craze that we're seeing with, like, okay, for example, Harry Styles right now, right? His fans will die for him. They will buy $10,000 tickets to be in a pit and to, like, dance with him, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes girls struggle with creating that obsessive fan base because men do not get obsessive over female musicians like women get over male musicians. So maybe
Whenever
the audience
how
can be a little
many
issue.
times you've been at a stadium concert or like festival and you've seen men going mad?
Never.
Like
Never.
I've
seen it, but
I can
it's-
think about Travis Scott and Drake, all those kind of gigs, but it's not the same kind of madness. It's not
a
like
different energy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a totally different
Different
energy.
energy.
So you have to, as a woman musician, you have to actually create good music, right? Not saying Harry Styles doesn't create good music, but even his shittiest songs, Watermelon Sugar High, chart topped every moment it could, right?
Yeah.
But for women, it's like you have to work hard at everything. You have to be something that a young girl wants to obsess over. So you
Yeah.
have to have cool
Wants to
style.
be,
You have to have a cool boyfriend. You have to, everything kind of needs to be something that they can
On point,
idolize.
yeah.
Whereas when guys just show up looking hot, job's done.
Yeah.
And even when they don't show up looking hot,
Job's done somehow.
Because they look scruffy and that's all.
Right, and that's hot too. Like, no
Yeah.
matter what.
and they are just like, you know, cocky and confident, and that's hot too.
Right, right.
It's not, I don't find that hot, but you know,
Everyone's got different
everyone's
needs.
different.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But then
it's,
if a woman does that, she's a bitch.
oh
you know?
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Notice how there's no male word for diva? Notice how only female
What a
musicians
concept. What a
are
thought.
divas
That's
if they
not a
want
male
something.
word for diva.
yeah.
I can't think of it.
I've always liked the word diva,
I
to
love
be
it.
honest. Like,
Reclaim it.
you know your fucking
that's true.
worth, and like, yeah. It doesn't
Imagine
need
if
to
you
be
were like a
negative.
musician that was like, oh yeah, we can do it. Like no, like you have to command the room,
Yeah.
take up your space.
You have to.
But yeah, Xander Sen is mine.
Cool.
Alexander
Cool.
Sen.
We'll have to check
Nice.
that out.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can wrap it out
Yeah, I think we've touched
with
a
that
lot
thought of
topics.
there's no male word for diva, to be honest.
That is something to think about.
Yeah.
Should we try and come up with a term at some point? I don't know. If anyone has any
Yeah.
suggestions.
Devo.
No, Devo.
Devo.
We need like a new word. But if anyone has any
I'll think
suggestions,
about it. I'm actually.
Leave it in
yeah.
the comments.
yeah, we'll
look 'em
would
over.
love to hear that.
But yeah, thank you for being here for the first episode of Icons in the Making. I'm Fran.
I'm Romi. We're Adora. Thank you so much for being here, Onnika.
No
Girl Scout
problem.
shoes. Go check her workout.
I'm gonna show
Oh,
something.
we have something to show.
Oh yeah.
This
Yes.
is gonna be very
This
prominent.
Oh wait.
Very prominent in our social media for our next single.
Yeah, this is a sneak peek actually. That I mean, we're not meant to show, but why not? Onnika made these amazing shoes for us. And yeah, we can't wait to wear them. So
Yes.
thank you so much.
No
For
problem.
everything. We love working with you, and we just, you know, wish you the best of luck and success with everything you're doing. We're so inspired by your work, and yeah, we just are really happy that we have this like really nice relationship, and we hope that we can keep supporting each other and working together. 'cause-
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you for bringing me into like a lot of your projects and like even just I'm happy that my work resonated and that we became like friends.
Yeah, from
when we
day
like
one.
when we like someone's work and we like the personality and we like everything about them, we just love to work with them and do stuff with them. So
Yeah, you're always on our list. Always welcome.
Nice.
so
Good.
yeah,
Thank you.
we'll see you with the next Icon in the Making.
See ya.
Goodbye.